Hi guys, I think I'm back. Seems to be a little wacky here on my end. I don't know if it's okay. I'm live now. I think. I hope you guys can find me. I don't know what's going on. Seems like my shot looks a little weird too. So I don't know what's happening. But welcome back. I seemed like I was going. I lost my video feed, so I apologize for whatever's going on. And I hope you guys can find where I am, because I really want to read the script and dive into this ABC comedy. So welcome back, you guys. I'm Los Angeles coach and script analysis expert Sandra K. I'm here on the fabulous Wendy Elaine Wright's group. I'm here teaching script analysis to you guys. Once again, I've been in the business 40 years. I've been teaching for over 30. And I create content now. So I have a script over at Sony and an idea over at Warner Brothers. So there's things that I do now here in Los Angeles that brought me here as a writer, content creator. So I just keep growing. I started out as an actor on stage in New York, and then opened my studio in Minneapolis, and here I am. Here I am in loving LA for about 22 years. So, and you just like, I think what I was saying too before I got disconnected here, with Facebook, is that you got to be in this business because you love it, because it's really, really tough. We're constantly training. We're constantly dealing with rejection, right? So if you could, like I say, if you can be happy doing something else, go do it. But if not, God bless you. Here you are, and I'm here to help you get better. So welcome everybody. I hope you're finding your way back to me. Give me some Yay, Melissa found me. Hi honey, thanks for joining. Rachel did it. Do you still do in-person classes? Not right now, Rachel, in Minneapolis, but I could come back to Minneapolis. I miss Minneapolis. I miss you guys there. I love you all. I consider it one of my homes, Minneapolis, for sure. It's there over 8 years. I know, so I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. It just, the whole feed dropped. And then I think my shot's like super wide now. It's wild. So I don't know what's going on, but I can see you guys and you're commenting, so that's great. So again, if you guys don't have this, I can't get the script right over to you, but email me, get on, become a member. It's free of TPSI. It's free. Just Sandra. Can you see that? Sandra at skhperformancestudio.com. That's me, Sandra at skhperformancestudio.com. And then the website, you guys, you can find out more about my classes there, skhperformancestudio.com. www.skhperformancestudio.com. And then there you can go to the website and hit contact and reach me through the website too. Because I'm doing some in-depth classes coming up. I'm doing some in-person classes coming up, so a lot of them are listed there. All are listed there except my teen intensive that I'm doing August 6th and 7th. That's a weekend intensive for teens. But I'm going to teach them all the important stuff, like I'm teaching you guys right now. A big important thing: how to justify a script. So hopefully you guys who got the 10 things, because I did not. I've closed down everything so I don't lose you guys on my computer, and I didn't print the 10 things, but I kind of remember. And I got a list of some of them here, and I want to see what kind of homework you guys did on answering some of those questions that I sent out to you guys on that email last night. And hopefully some of you guys were able to tackle a few of them this morning and this afternoon, or this early evening, depending on where you're watching me, or early morning, depending on where you're watching from. So thank you guys so much for being here with me today, because I love actors, I love acting, and I love breaking down scripts. That's why I teach script analysis, because I love breaking down scripts. So do you guys have this? Let's jump into this. I'm going to do cold reading of it for you. And I may stop in the middle of it just to, let me see something here real quick. No. Just to see if something comes to mind to me, like, there's something I didn't read. So I've only read this. So this is going to be a cold reading. A cold reading, you guys, means you've only read it a couple of times. You might mess up a little bit here or there. If that happens, don't apologize in a cold read. Don't go, oh, sorry, let me start again. Because it reeks of being not confident. Okay? So, just go, let me try that again. Oh, well, have a sense of humor about it. You can, but try not to come out of character as you're reading it, which means hold the emotion, stay in the situation, the circumstances that you are, and just back it up and start all over again. You could come out of character for a minute and just go, let me try that again. Let me try that again. And then you get back into character and try it again in a cold reading. Now, ice cold reading means you haven't looked at it at all. And they're just going, here, read this, which I hate. I don't like doing ice cold readings. Not many people do. Some people are good at it. And the way to get good at cold readings, and they've said it for years, is read everything out loud, you guys. Read everything you can out loud. So if you're Googling something, read, I'm pointing to my phone who's over here. So if you're Googling something, read it. Read it out loud. You're looking, whether it's and then of course scripts are the best to read out loud, aren't they? If you come work with me in my 12-week class, I have you read 3 different plays so you understand good writing from Tennessee Williams, Neil Simon, and Edward Albee. And the reason why I have you read great playwrights is so that when you get an original film script or television script, you're like, oh my gosh, this guy writes like Edward Albee or Lillian Hellman, or these playwrights, and then you begin to understand good writing. Because it all started with theater, didn't it? Started with theater, darling. It all started with the Greeks. Okay. So we're going to do a cold reading of this. Now, when we read as an actor, we read slowly, especially in a cold reading. You're going to want to feel the pacing a little bit, and if the writing's good, the pacing will just come naturally. But in the beginning, especially when I'm talking about Kelly, when we're reading the description of Kelly, I want to read that slowly because I want to see it in my mind's eye, see if I think she reminds me of anybody that I can kind of latch onto a little bit. That comes to mind, I feel like she's this little redhead in some of these old 1990 comedies. She's kind of fiery. I think of Kelly being kind of a fiery redhead when I think of her. How do you think of her when you see her, when you think of Kelly? Because you may not be a fiery redhead that they've called in to read for Kelly, but you can certainly wear that. You can wear a fiery part of you. That's why we act, and especially why we do Meisner, because we want to exercise all of our emotional instrument, not just the ones that are familiar to us, but maybe some of the ones that aren't, ones that we're not quite as comfortable with too. Okay, so let's jump in here. We're talking a little bit about dressing for comedy too last time we read this at the end of June. So that's the last Monday of the month is when we start a new script on my page, you guys. So this is not too bad. It's bright for comedy, right? I had a bright blue shirt on the other day. I wasn't even thinking about it today. But so you want something that sort of pops, it's cheerful color. I don't know how cheerful this is, but red is an action color, makes people take action or think about action. So is yellow. So thinking about, how can you influence, even by what you're wearing, the color that you wear, to influence them to want to call you back and wanting to hire you. Okay? But remember, it's first of all, do they like you? Do they like you? Then it's your look. Then it's your talent. Sorry, guys, but that's the way it is. But remember, if I'm going to be on set with you for 12 hours a day, I want to like you. And then, if God blesses us and we have a series that runs for 7 or 8 years, I want you to feel like family, and the crew and everybody to feel that way. Do you see what I mean? So you got to feel how to be likable in the room. And sometimes when you're auditioning, sometimes being likable is just because they're in a hurry. Right? They're running behind or whatever, and you can feel it in the room. It's just coming in, doing your job, and saying thanks and leaving. Right? And then sometimes it's entertaining them. Sometimes they're in a good mood and they want, they see something funny on your resume and they want to talk to you about it. Okay? And then that becomes a whole different thing in the room, in the audition room. So when we're in the audition room, we're always kind of like, we're sensing. Robert Lewis says an actor takes in sensation. And we're sensing, okay, they're in the back as soon as we walk in. That's why I tell actors, I'm giving you some freebies on auditioning today. That's why I tell actors, if you can find somebody going out of the room, preferably somebody who doesn't look like you, but so it's not your competition, but ask them what the room looks like. How's the room in there? And I say, there's one guy in there and he's grouchy. Or there's like 5 people and they're eating. So you can just mentally prepare for what you're going into. You know what I mean? And just because an actor comes out and goes, there's five people and they're tough, don't take that to heart that they're going to be tough on you. And you might have to kind of loosen them up a little bit. Okay, but if you're good, they're gonna be happy and relieved, and they're gonna like you. Sometimes what they might be tough is somebody comes out and says they're tough because they couldn't nail the audition in the room too. Do you know what I mean? So you have to weigh it all out. And if you are following, and you can feel it sometimes, if you are following somebody that bummed out in the room, you can feel it as they come out of the audition. I'm thinking of one in particular in Minneapolis. This guy just and I was going in after him. It was for a film audition, and I knew I had to kind of perk up just a little bit for that. And there was maybe 3 people in the room, and including the director and writer of the movie. And sell myself a little bit more because this guy stunk up the room. Just be blunt about it. He stunk up the room. And so I got to unstink it. I got to bring in some good stuff and good energy, and I did with sense of humor and being myself and talking. And we talk about that in the 12-week class, like how to interview properly so that people do like you, and that you can loosen up and be yourself a little bit, but not too much. You don't want to be too crazy in the room either, because then if you become unprofessional in the room, then they don't want to work with you. So it's a balancing act. We always play, isn't it? Within how do they want us to be? What do they want from us, kind of thing. Okay? All right, let me see who's saying hi. Let me say hi to you guys, then we're going to jump into this and read this a little bit. Lamine's back. Hey, Lamine. Thanks for coming back. Silver. Hi. You're here for the first time? Thanks, sweetheart. I'll give you a bell ring for that, thinking I'm great. I appreciate that. I thought you'd been here before. Well, thank you. Welcome. Katrina, you made it. All right. Hey, Sandra. Ashlyn made it. See, Masterclass Actors. And Andy, Masterclass Actor, is here. Infiltrate. Oh, you still infiltrating Paramount? Yeah, Andy's over working at Paramount. Did you touch the gate for me yet, Andy? Touch that gate for me, baby boy. Okay, Katrina, what are you doing? It's good luck, you guys, if you touch. It's the internal gate. You have to be on the lot to touch it. It's not the beautiful gates that, I tried that. And the security guards scolded me and said, it's not the gate. And I'd been on Paramount lot a couple of times to pitch, and I didn't realize it was the old gates, but they're cement and they're inside. They're still beautiful, so Andy's in there touching that gate and getting lucky. See? Let me see what else you guys are saying here before we jump into the script, if there's anything. Oh, baby girl, Katrina, thank you, honey girl, for putting all that on there for me. God bless you. Okay, let me go through this real quick. I love you for doing that. Okay, here's what I wrote, and as we begin to read this, think about it, you guys, because I want you to be putting comments. I think Kelly is blah, 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 blah. I think Johnny is la, 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 la. Okay, so you're using your imagination, and you know who said that's your most important tool? Do you know? Stella Adler. Stella Adler said that our imagination is our most important tool. So we want to be very imaginative. Very imaginative. Okay, so Katrina gave me the homework, and I love it. Okay, here we go. Why does Kelly need to be married in 2 years? What happens if she doesn't get married? Why does Johnny need to stay single? See, I was talking about that earlier on, and I think in the initial thing before Facebook clicked me off. How long has Kelly been living with her sister? See, these are things you'd know in real life. So Stella Adler again says you should know your character almost as well as you know yourself, you guys. Okay? Boom, 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 boom. How long has Johnny and Kelly known each other? How did they meet? What's their background? See, I'd want to know that too. What city or place? Where's this take place? Where's this feel like it takes place? Tell me about Kelly's recent breakup. Because we're talking about Kelly being oblivious, like dating this guy for 8 years, and she's thinking he's going to propose, and he breaks up. I mean, there'd be warning signs along the way with that, wouldn't there? So that was the other thing that we were talking about back in June that was odd. How does Johnny really feel about marriage? How does Kelly really feel about marriage? Examples of Kelly's disasters. So you're like, what? How was her breakup? What's some of the disasters? She goes from one disaster to another. What are those disasters, you guys? And then example of Kelly thinking she's being Kate Middleton. See moments of being Miley Cyrus within your movement and blocking. So yeah, so we talked about that in here where Johnny says you think you're Kate Middleton, but you're creeping up on Miley Cyrus, right? So, and so we know Kate Middleton is a very, with a finger out and the la la la, right? And then we think of Miley Cyrus, crazy kind of pop rock star kind of person. So what could be fun within the choice of what you bring into the room, you guys, within an audition, is something that, would be colorful. I mean, she comes off to me more like Miley Cyrus, right? To me. Right now, just kind of in your face, this is what we need, let's go, kind of thing. But what could you do? Is there a line in here that you could give a little bit of a Kate Middleton to? Right? Because it's so much kind of flavored towards Miley Cyrus already. Where could you put that in there that another actor will not bring in the room and will get you called back because of it? Okay? So that's the kind of choices we want to think, and it can just be one choice. It could be one choice that you do. At one point, you just jump up and hop. You just go, no! You just do something like that. That can get you called back. Just that thing. It's just making that one choice because nobody else did it, and it really stood out and was great, and they loved it. So that's the kind of things we're talking about today, too. Andy, you love ice cold readings? You're pretty good at cold readings. He's good at monologue readings, which I really love. Hey, Stefan, thanks for coming. Is it Stefan or Steven? Thanks for referring Nicole. Hey, you guys. And Shantae, am I saying that right? Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. Daphne, you got back. Thanks, baby girl. We got a big manager in the house, you guys. Daphne Matthews is right here. So be on your best behavior. Write something good. Write something good in the comments. Melvy's in the house. Hi, Melvy. So great to have you back. You're always good about throwing in some ideas. Akeem. Hi, honey. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Let me see. Shout out to anybody else out here. Suzette. Hi, Suzette. Thanks for coming. Thanks so much. And Will. I see you. Will's here. And Trent. Good evening. Where are you, Trent, that you're saying good evening? How are you? I love it. Lamin. It's spelled Lamin. I thought you said Lamime. You had a big long I the last time I was supposed to be saying it, when I was saying it incorrectly. Lamine. It's Lamin? What is it? Tell me. I'm confused. I'm dazed and confused. Thanks for being here, everybody. Really appreciate it. Yes, definitely Miley Cyrus. Yeah, you're seeing that too, Katrina. Oh, Stephen. Okay. Hi, Stephen. I got a good friend named Stephen. Porus is back. I haven't seen you forever. Hi, honey. Thanks for coming. Rebinder is back. Oh, I feel like we're back in well, not in the bad way, but back when I was teaching, every week in talent managers for actors. So nice seeing some of you guys come back that I haven't seen for a while. Yay for us! Okay, great. So let's jump in here and I'll read it a little bit, and then hopefully you guys will kind of chime in on some ideas that you have about this script. Okay, Kelly. Kelly size. Kelly, let me turn on the light here so I can see a little bit better. Kelly is funny, a talker, right? Self-absorbed, with an infectious energy. Someone who throws herself into things and lurches from disaster to disaster. Okay, so that was something we were going to we were going to justify, right? The disaster to disaster, but the funny and the talker, she's outgoing and bubbly is how I'm looking at her too. Kelly is devastated when her boyfriend of 8.5 months does not propose to her as she expects, but instead dumps her. And that's an interesting word too, isn't it? The writer doesn't say and instead breaks up with her, dumps her. Now, as a writer, there is no word that I choose that I don't purposely choose. That's why writers get really annoyed when actors just want to, ad lib and say whatever the heck they want to say come out of their mouth, because we labor over what we write, you guys. So you want to honor the writer and always memorize verbatim unless the director or writer give you permission to do otherwise. Because that, I like that word, but instead dumps her, which is worse than breaks up. Dumping is worse, so I would want to justify, well, if I was playing Kelly, what did he do? Exactly. Kelly becomes inspired to find a new boyfriend, fiance, groom in 2 years' time. And we wanted to justify why 2 years, why of that urgency, what's going on, biological clock, she's going to inherit a lot of money, what's going to happen? Clueless as to why she has such bad luck with guys, but determined to better herself, Kelly has a brainstorm. She moves in with her sister's fiance's ex-roommate, Johnny. She'll move in. a straight-talking eligible bachelor. Do you know anybody like that? Does anybody come to mind when I say that to you? Who gives her all the advice she needs to clean up her act and find her soulmate. Okay, so let's look at that. Well, there it says soulmate. The writer's saying soulmate there. So maybe Kelly is really wanting to fall in love. Let's see what you guys think. Interior. Johnny's apartment night. So INT again is interior, EXT is exterior. And we want to know where we are. Okay, we're in Johnny's apartment and it's night. I'm different at night than I am early evening. Like, what time of night is this, do you think? That Kelly's knocking on his door. And what, the moment before that made Kelly come over there. Right? From living with her sister. So much breaking down a script. So much that we do as actors to make it believable and truthful to the audience. Okay, a knock at the door. Johnny opens it. Kelly stands there with a bunch of luggage. Can you see it? You see her surrounded with how much luggage? And Johnny going, oh no! What? I had an idea. And at first it seemed like a terrible idea, but then the more I thought about it, the more I realized how genius it is. I think I should move in. Oh, no. You can't just let me walk you through this. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out how to turn my life around and make this date happen. See, date, that's the other thing that I questioned last night when I was reading through it again. And then I realized you're the answer. I've been repelling men, and you're the only person who's been honest with me. I really think we should team up. Oh, I'm not on your team. I can do this, right? I really think with you on my team, I can do this, right? So it's an interjection, you guys. Johnny's just interject. I'm not on your team. So let me read that again. I really think with you on my team, I'm not on your team, I can do this. Randy moved out, so you need a new roommate. Randy and Heather clearly want me out. So what was that? So we'd have to justify what happened there, that they want her out, which feels like maybe something went down right now, that she packed her stuff and moved, said, I'm out of here, right? And I'm tired of pretending I'm oblivious. It's perfect. Johnny goes, okay, can I speak now? Because no, I don't want to live with you. I don't like you. And I don't like you either. That's what makes this perfect. You won't try to protect my feelings. I mean, we only had one conversation about one topic. I probably have lots of flaws I don't even know about. I may be too shy or too thin. Holy crap, no. You lurch from one disaster to another. You indulge every whim that floats through the transom of your mind. You have no awareness of how you come off to the world. You think you're Kate Middleton, but you're creeping up on Miley Cyrus. Whoa. I can't say that didn't sting. But see, this is going to be good for me. Uh-huh. And what's in it for me? And don't offer sex because I'm not interested. You're not interested. I'm not interested. But, although, you saying you're not interested makes me a little interested. Oh, you're so weird. Please leave, says Johnny. Kelly goes, I'm not so terrible to have around. And then she realizes, maybe I can help you. What repels bar skanks better than a beautiful, classy, maybe this is Kate Middleton here, right? Beautiful, classy lady roommate, right? And I was thinking up there, maybe I'm too shy or too thin. Maybe that's Kate Middleton there too, right? Okay. Maybe I can help you. Let's start there again. What repels bar skanks better than a beautiful, classy lady roommate? Great idea, but who's the I am, Johnny? I am. Well, one true thing, says Johnny, of all of your raving, a woman is the perfect buffer against another woman. Then I'm your girl. I'm great at driving people away. Okay, says Johnny. you can stay on a trial basis. And I mean seriously, a short trial. You can't even unpack your suitcase. Yay, says Kelly. All right, then Johnny. And if you can help keep me single, I'll help get you married. You won't regret this, says Kelly. You can see her start dragging in her suitcases, right? Oh, I think I will, says Johnny. Kelly goes, in 2 years, I will be at a hotel wearing a white dress with some poor bastard standing up there next to me. Johnny goes, as long as it's not me. Kelly goes, look at that. Something we agree on. Something we agree on. I thought I was going to say already, right? Something we agree on. Look at that. Something we agree on. And we were talking about it last week, that when I didn't put that in the 10 things that I sent to you guys. Is there really a sexual chemistry or tension between the two people? Because now if I make that decision, right, as Kelly or as Johnny, that I find this person, like from Johnny's point of view, I find her attractive, but I don't deal with train wrecks. I've had girlfriends like that in the past, and I'm no. That might be why you can't live here. I don't need this, because you're beautiful and you're a disaster, and I don't need to fix you. And I have a tendency to want to fix people, so no, you can't move in here. And then Kelly, thinking in her mind that I don't care for you. I just want to live here. We'll do this. You'll be straight up with me. You'll help me, like a therapy session. And she's very persuasive, She's a good salesperson. She doesn't take no for an answer, does she? Is the other thing that's really cool about her. But let me see what you guys are saying about this, since we just read it. And you can tell me what you're thinking. Oh, good. Looks like you guys are writing some stuff. I love it, 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 love it. I got this fan coming right on me. You're in Vancouver. That's right, Boris. I remember now. Beautiful Vancouver. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Crystal! How are you, sweetie, over there in Portugal? Thank you, honey, for joining us. Former masterclass student, trying to get back. I hope I have you back in class soon, sweetie. I miss you. Simon! From Victoria, British Columbia. All right, I got the Canadians in the house. Wonder where Brianna is. I got a masterclass student that lives in Ottawa, Canada area. How about that? Patsy, you're awesome too, girl. Thanks for coming, man. Was confused too. It's definitely Lemin. Lemin? Is that how you say it? This time. Okay, for now it's Lemin, and then next week it's going to be Lemine. You're funny. Katrina, what do you got? Well, 8 months isn't that long. Dumps says to me he was fed up, just done. Yeah. And then, see, I want to know what she did to make him fed up like that, Katrina. Excuse me. Hope I'm saying your name right. Melissa, what do you got? What do you suggest to say to the director when there are curses in the script and prefer not to speak them but still want to honor the writing? You got to curse, girl, or just don't do those kind of films. Just don't do those kind of movies. There's plenty of work out there that has no profanity in it. Plenty of work out there, sweetheart. You don't have to do work that has profanity in it. But if the writer, because sometimes I have a television idea that actually we developed out of master class called Hotel Hell Inc. And I have a version would be on, regular network television. I have something and I've got it written for HBO. So one would have profanity, one wouldn't. So there's lots of money, and I hate to say that, but there's money to be made in there's so many Christian movies being made. I know they do a lot in Texas, and so there's plenty of work for you where you don't have to use profanity, sweetie. It's a tough business. Listen, I try not to use profanity. I know all my masterclass students are laughing right now as I'm talking about profanity because the New York actor, you pick up a few curse words. Actors curse, you get around a bunch of actors that they can start to curse like sailors. So But there's nothing wrong with not wanting to curse, not wanting to be around that, sweetie. So you pick your work accordingly. And everybody should pick their work accordingly. Do we need women portrayed this way, men portrayed this way, world portrayed this way? Because we hold up a mirror to society, so we need to be responsible for the stories that we're telling, okay, or the stories that we're in, that we're helping to tell. Katrina, what do you got? Interesting. Kelly chooses not to visit Johnny. It's like she wants to ensure he won't turn her away due to the hour. Oh, yeah. I think that's a good one, Katrina. That's a, yeah, I like that you're thinking on that. Because then she saw there's luggage and he's going to feel bad and can't throw out in the night. And I'm thinking that maybe she had the last straw with her sister, right? And had a fight with her sister, and that happened. The 2 years clearly cancels out Johnny's trial basis statement. Exactly. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's funny. In 2 years. Right, you think that's what she's doing? Like in 2 years, I'll be with some schmuck walking down the aisle. I got my pages messed up now. Oh, yeah, here it is. In 2 years, I will be... Oh, I think... You won't regret this. Oh, I think I will. In 2 years, I'll be... Right. As long as it's not me. And yeah, unless, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure Johnny is not thinking that. But maybe Kelly is thinking, I might be living here for a couple years. Until I get married, I'm going to sit here and live with Johnny. Which I think is fun. Let's see. Okay. Now, why does Johnny, you guys, why does Johnny want to stay single? What do you guys think about that? Why does Johnny want to stay single? What are you thinking? Is he just kind of a playboy? And I feel like that's too easy. If he's just a playboy and she says bar skanks. Do you think he's a bartender? What repels bar skanks better than a beautiful, classy lady roommate? I mean, if he was like a really good-looking guy and bartended, I could see him having trouble, right, with women always trying to pick him up and chatting him up and talking to him. Otherwise, I mean, is he somebody who just hangs out in a local bar then? If he's not a bartender, or he could be an owner of a restaurant? I don't know if I get, how professional do you guys think? What do you think these people do for a living? Kelly and Johnny, what do they do for a living? We didn't put that down, did we? Their profession? What do y'all think? That's a kind of an easy one to answer. What do y'all think they do for a living? Which is kind of fun to think about. Okay, at least what you guys are writing. Reminder, what do you have? Kelly is not necessarily, wait a minute. Kelly's not necessarily a bright one. Okay, but surely, let me see where you're at. Knows how to use her beauty, charm, and manipulation skills on men. Right. So yeah, how do you think she's dressed, LeBinder? How is she? She kind of dressed like, hey, a little bit. So he's like, but I don't be thinking about sex, but maybe she's kind of dressed kind of sexy, which makes him, oh, don't worry, I don't want to have sex with you, right? Katrina, what do you have? She clearly was on 10 too much of the time. That night she probably said too much and hinted to marriage, and the boyfriend was out. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about how the scene, and then the scene just ends. She started hinting about marriage is what you were thinking. She clearly was on 10 too much. I don't know what your 10 means there. Maybe it's a typo. Too much of the time. That night she probably said too much and hinted at marriage, and the boy was out. Yeah, she could have come on too strong. Absolutely. And then the guys got real scared and said, no! Came on too strong, and yeah, it could be that kind of dump. Like, oh, scared the life out of the guy. Yeah. Like, when we're married, we'll have 2 children, and we'll, she's saying stuff like that. Freaks the guy out. The men, what you got? I got the feeling that Kelly is a troublemaker. I think she is too. She's a little bit of a troublemaker because she goes from disaster to disaster. And you got to be careful with letting somebody like that in your life. Johnny's trying to be careful, but don't you get the feeling that she's moved in? I do. Let's see what you're saying. Reminder, Johnny probably was hurt terribly by someone. Oh, I like that. He fell hard for, and it was recent. And now he doesn't trust girls, especially pretty girls. I like that. And I like the reason why I like that choice, it gives Johnny heart. If he's hurt, he's trying to cover up and no, and I don't want to have sex, I don't want to get involved with anybody. I gotta get myself in order. I can't get in a relationship anymore. I gotta figure out what happened with the last one, kind of thing, Yeah, I like that. Katrina, what do you got? Johnny is just living his best life and doesn't want to commit too soon. Okay. He's weighing his options to choose wisely. Yeah, I feel like he's still kind of sowing his oats a little bit too, Johnny. Bar skanks. He's in bars a lot. I mean, when you're younger, you go to clubs and you go and hang out and have fun, and then a lot, it's a different thing too. When you go to a pub in the UK versus you hang out at bars here. It's a different scenario. It's a different feel, isn't it? Melvie, what do you got? Johnny likes his single life and wants no commitments to just one woman. He likes tasting the different flavors on the platter. Woo, woo, woo. Melvie, you're funny. Yeah, I can see that. He's that kind of playboy, kind of, I don't want to get too serious. I want to get tied down. He likes his single life and he wants no commitments. So, Melvie, you thinking he wasn't hurt or anything that made him? It's just he's this easygoing guy. He doesn't want to get tied down. He likes, he likes having sex from woman to woman kind of thing. And, sometimes people are like that because they have been hurt and they don't want to get tied down. What's the reason he's doing it, Melvie? What's the reason why he's going from woman to woman like that and enjoys the single life and doesn't want to get tied down? Is it because he's afraid of getting hurt, or he's afraid a woman will suffocate him, or he's not, I think where you're going is he's not ready for like marriage and children and settling down. So how old are you thinking this guy is? How old are these people, do you all think? Porus, what do you got? Johnny can be a male dancer and get picked up by his every night after. So you're thinking he could be a Chippendales dancer? Johnny could be a Chippendales dancer, Porus? I like that. But I'll tell you a story about that. You might not be too far off, Porus, in that I waited tables. When I was waiting in New York, a lot of actors wait tables in between work, because you can get people to cover your shift. You don't lose your job. Blah blah blah. And I worked with this really super tall, good-looking guy, right? And he used to dance at Chippendales, and he had to quit. And he was in love with another waitress. At the place where I worked, and they had a nice relationship as far as I know. But he had to quit because he got where he's hating women. Because of the way women were acting around him, he couldn't dance anymore. So, there might be something to that male dancer thing there, Porus. What do you got, Katrina? I can see Johnny was a bar owner, good looking, a businessman, and wants to choose wisely. I could see that too, Katrina, as well. But I also, that could be fun. Just the male dancer could just be a fun choice to make. So you have to have a lot of sex appeal for that one. Johnny wants to stay single, maybe because he's gay. He's a playboy, and so attractive. Right. He could be gay, absolutely, and not be out to Kelly yet, for sure. He also could be a playboy and just like Melvie says, likes to taste the platter, likes to taste the multiple delicacies off the platter, right? What do you got, Crystal? I think Johnny has a wild, charming character and doesn't want to be... he doesn't want a woman to catch him. All right, he doesn't want to be catched by a woman. Okay. But why? Why does he... does he come from a divorced family? Or does he come from a dad who's a playboy? And he emulates his dad? What do y'all think? Constantina! Hi, honey! Thanks for coming! Okay, what else you guys got here? 10 means too... out of 10! I see what you're saying. Too bubbly, too energetic, Energizer Bunny. The boyfriend was overwhelmed. wired on caffeine. Well, then we'll do this, and then we'll do that, and then we'll have a house on the beach, and mom will live happily ever after. I can see that. I want to know the location. Well, okay, what do you say, Katrina? Where do you think this is? Where's it feel? Where's it feel like it takes place? You're thinking they're in their 30s. Yeah, I think early 30s. Maybe. You know, where you could think of her biological clock ticking and, you know, wanting to have a family and blah, blah, blah. Okay, Melby, what are you saying? Okay, but yeah, location. I could see this in the city. I could see this in a small town, too. I mean, this could be in New York, LA, Atlanta, Chicago. Could be in one of our larger cities. Brussels, Vancouver, right? Or I could see it in a smaller town. But it has that kind of sophistication of a city a little bit to me. But it doesn't have to be. You guys tell me what you all think. And Melby, what you got? I can see how he could have been hurt by someone in the past. Yeah, and that's one of the reason he goes to the bars a lot. Oh yeah, that's a good justification, Melby. He uses the bars to pick up new girls because he doesn't want to give any of the girls a second date because he doesn't want to get attached. Yeah, I think that's a good way of basing it, you know, that he was hurt. You know, in the past, unless you guys think that it's maybe another reason what could make him. I could just also see, you know, you could grow up and just see bad marriages around you, you know, and that could be enough of I don't want to get settled in on that. And if you came from a bad marriage and you know, spending a Christmas at your mom's and your dad's or holidays or, you know, whatever you celebrate, it's tough. Melby says Metro City. He's thinking a metro, but of course we'd want to be specific if we, you know, when we tackle this, if we were going in for the audition, we'd want to be, you know, this takes place in New York, or this takes place in Phoenix, or wherever you think it takes place, you know, Twin Cities, St. Paul, wherever. Ashlyn, what do you got? He describes her mind like a transom. Ideas blow constantly through her mind. Yeah. She doesn't really focus on being serious. She just goes with the wind. I'd make her an air sign, Ashlyn. I'd make her a Gemini, a Libra. What's the other one? Aquarius. She just kind of goes where the wind blows. Do you know anybody like that? That kind of goes where the wind blows them and somehow is taken care of. You know, she feels like that kind of person that just lands on her feet. You know, she gets in trouble, but somehow somebody bails her out. You know. Yeah, I like that word transom a lot. I like the writing of that word. It seems like those ideas blowing through her mind, that sometimes she'll act on them because she doesn't think things through, and that's why she has disasters. So it's almost like, I like where you're going with that, Ashley. It's like, well, whatever blows into her mind, she'll go do. And then realize, whoops, that probably wasn't the best idea. And then creates a disaster because she just kind of follows the wind where it blows, right? Akeem, what do you got? I definitely agree 30s, and I definitely feeling of New York City vibe. So you like a New York City vibe. I can see that too. Transom is a polite way of saying airhead. Oh, is that what it is? I think I would have had to look that word up to know exactly what it meant. I think I know what it means, but to know what it meant is to say she's an airhead. And right there, using that word makes him an intellect to me, doesn't it? If ever float that goes through your transom of your mind. So that's not someone who's not educated. So we can just say the words that Johnny uses, that he's, you know, an educated person. Is maybe more educated than Kelly, right? Okay, what are you guys saying? What are you saying? An air sign. You think that's funny? Are you an air sign, Katrina? Is that why you think it's funny? I think about that sometimes, like what my sign of my character is, just for fun. Me, what do you got? I go wherever the wind blows, land on my feet. You're a little bit like that, Andy. You do. You luck out. You're pretty good, though. I like that. Or Boehner, what do you got? Or Binder, excuse me. I feel there is a deep hurt inside her too. Aw, but she superficially appears bubbly and talkative to cover her pain. I like that too. I think that's a good choice to play because it just gives you richness and gives you color to these people. So they're just not bubbly and they're just not blah, blah, blah. It's rooted in a truth. It's like she's covering up something, and it makes the person in the audience watching, and of course who's ever auditioning you, wow, it pulls them in because you've layered the character. And we layer them through choices like these that you guys are making. Let me see. We got just about 4 minutes left, you guys. Let me see what you got, Melby. I can see where Kelly and her sister went to college in the same city, and that's where they met their boyfriends. Johnny fell hard for his college sweetheart, but she was not ready for that commitment and broke it off. Just exactly what happened to Kelly with her ex. She was thinking about marriage and he was not there yet. Okay. So do you think they're still in college, Melby, or are you thinking they're in their 30s too? I thought maybe you were agreeing with that as well. He's definitely an intellectual, Ashlyn says, too. Yeah, I like that too. I could totally see that him getting heartbroken in college. When you're young and naive to love, and it's hard. It's hard. The first love that breaks your heart. It's a hard one, isn't it? If you've had that happen, you know what I'm talking about. Porce, what do you got? Atlanta, Georgia, or New Orleans? Okay. So you think he's like in their 27s? I'm thinking late 20s or 30s too. Insecure male dancer, no commitment to dent his income. I like it, Porus. You think that he's a male dancer making all that money and he doesn't want to be spending it on any lady. I like it. That's funny. Katrina, what do you got? She feels like she's very fluid water. Far too pliable, which leads to constant disasters. Yeah. She just kind of goes where the wind blows. It's kind of what Ashlyn was saying too, right? I'm a corporate. You're a Capricorn. You're practical. You'd have to make decisions to play Kelly with your practicality as a Capricorn. Katrina, what do you got? Her personality definitely eludes cover up. Oh, I got to go, you guys. Peter's coming in after me today to teach. So there's another teacher right behind me if you want to keep learning, and he's going to be going live too. So I love that you guys were with me. I love when you guys have all those great ideas and you feed them to me, and there's no wrong answer for the most part. It's just as long as it doesn't go against the text, as long as it doesn't go against the writing, whatever you say is true. If you say it takes place in New York, it takes place in New York. The writer doesn't say where it takes place. We just get a feel for it. It feels urban. It feels more urban than rural, right? And then we just place it wherever we say we want to place it. And we make that decision. Well, thank you guys. I'm going to run. I got 1 minute. Check out my website, you guys. I've got classes coming up all over the place. In person, my 12-week in-depth class, more free classes. But some of these are on my site. Some of them aren't. Teen class isn't yet, but it's on Facebook. So anyway, I'll put some of them up here when you guys, once I close this down, and I'll post some stuff for how to get a hold of me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. It was so fun being creative with you. Stay encouraged. Stay around positive people. And I'll see you here in Talent Managers for Actors, August 9th. All of the 3 classes are at 1 o'clock p.m. my time in LA, you guys. So August 9th is the next class, but we start that script July 25th on my page, Sandra K. Horner, Performance Studio International. Thank you for being with me today, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, and we'll be in touch, and we'll talk again real soon. Stay encouraged.